So while hundreds of thousands of demonstrators have been peacefully demanding an end to systemic racism and police brutality, a few opportunists have been hard at work, taking advantage of police attention being focused on protests to vandalize and steal. Among the businesses targeted early Monday morning was Pure Oasis in Dorchester, which is miles away from where the protests were happening. It's the first and only recreational marijuana shop in Boston and the first in the state to come out of an equity program, which was intended to give priority application status to the same communities of color disproportionately arrested and jailed in the war on drugs. Security footage from Monday obtained by the Boston Globe shows looters taking more than $100,000 worth of product out from the back storage room, and that was just days after the store had reopened for curbside pickup amid COVID-19. Pure Oasis co-owner Kobie Evans joins me. Good to see you again, Kobie.
Hey, Jim. Good to be here. Wish it was under better circumstances.
Yeah, so do I. You've gone out of your way to say that these looters took advantage of the protests but had nothing to do with the protests. Why do you think you were targeted?
I think that a number of different businesses were targeted just because of, our status in the community as desirable locations with products that people want, such as, clothing, apparel, and that sort of thing. I think that we're probably on a lot of people's radar just because we're new and we have something that people want, and there's some people that either don't want to pay for it or can't afford it.
You know, the timetable is just unbelievable to me, and I'm sure more unbelievable to you. You're finally open for 2 weeks, shut down because of the coronavirus. You're open a week, and then this happens. Is survival in doubt, or are you as okay as you can be under the circumstances?
Listen, we made it through Corona. We even got a T-shirt to prove it. So, I think we can survive this.
One of the things that's amazing, and I said to you before we started this interview, your relentlessness has always been amazing to me, I should say. But I was reading your Twitter account, and a lot of people have offered you not just emotional support, but financial support. And instead of taking the latter, you've urged people to donate to things like Haley House in Nubian Square, obviously a pillar of that community. Why have you turned down financial support when you've lost all this money?
I think that there are other organizations that aren't as well off, and Bing and his crew over at Haley House are doing a great job, and they're vital to the community, and they directly help individuals who are at risk, and we're more of a leisure operation. We're recreational, literally, and what Bing and Haley House do, they're a lifeline for a lot of people, and they're the ones who really should be celebrated in terms of outreach and financial support. And okay, we still have product and we still have a customer base, and we'll recover from this. In fact, we were open the same morning that it all happened, and we just want to keep perspective.
But you're disheartened. I mean, one of the things, you're forgetting the original people who broke in. From while you've talked about community support, I read an outpouring of community support. There were some members of the community who joined in once the looting began. Is that not so?
I couldn't even speak to it. It was just a weird melee, and it's hard to. It's Sunday morning. It's really Monday morning, 2:00 in the morning. It's not like these individuals were coming from a club. It sounds like they were very deliberate in their intent. I'd be hard pressed to believe that there were all these community members who just happened to be out in the street at 2:00 in the morning. In fact, contrary to that, the next morning why we decided to open was that the community came out and were almost in tears and demonstrating their support for us to be part of that fabric. So, and they were very resounding the fact that it wasn't people from the community. And again, they were just there to support us. So I doubt that the neighborhood of Grove Hall was that short-sighted. I believe it was from outside.
Well, let me broach something that I assume is disheartening, because you've not only been a strong advocate for your own business, you've been a strong advocate for other people of color, particularly 3.5 years after the voters adopted a law, many of whom I know voted for it because of the provisions that guaranteed there'd be some rebalancing of the scales based upon the war on drugs focus on disproportionately on communities of color. You're it after 3.5 years. What does that say?
I think that it says that, we have to persevere. That means that we have to reopen. That means we have to be a beacon. And Jim, I'll be the first to tell you that standing on the corner talking to my business partner, Kevin, as we do after most meetings at the shop, almost every third car that comes through that intersection slows down, stops, and thanks us, not for being, there to provide, the business that we do, but to provide hope and opportunity to people in the community, because they rely on us and they look to us as a beacon. And, we hope that we can be a sea change and offer opportunities to other people and be a guide light for other entrepreneurs who want to follow in our footsteps. And we've hosted Zoom meetings to try and encourage and get people into the business and be there to help grow it. But someone has to kind of lead the way and show people what mistakes not to make.
I wish some of your attitude was what would wear off on me. Are you a hopeful guy, or are you somebody who just is good at putting on a good face in a bad situation, Kobie?
You know what? I want to believe that, empowerment is beyond words. I think that, we have a young man who works in our shop, and he started as a security guard, and, now he's in our packaging department, and, he comes from an unstable home, and this is the kind of opportunity that he needs to thrive. And some people just need opportunity for greatness. And I think that there's a lot of value in people that we have to harness. But I think that it's intrinsic. If you help people, it makes the world a better place. And it's not just a cliche, but, it's the simple things that make, everything better.
I know it's not just a cliche for you. Kobie Evans, Pure Oasis, good luck in your life and your business going forward.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Good to talk to you.